Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Catechism for Kids here on this channel. It's me again, your friendly neighborhood catechist. And today we're going to look at an important verse from the Bible that Jesus taught his disciples. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on future episodes. Okay, class is in session. Get your notebooks ready because it's time to learn about Jesus. Today we'll be looking at what does it mean to be cunning as serpents and innocent as doves. Now let's dive into it. When Jesus called his first disciples, they left everything and followed him. They were simple fishermen who had been spending their lives casting nets into the sea. But now they would spend their lives spreading the message of God's love and inviting people to follow Jesus. This was quite a change. So before Jesus sent them out to do this mission, he gave them some advice. In Matthew chapter 10, verses 16 through 18, he said, "See, I am sending you out like sheep into the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of them, for they will hand you over to councils and flog you in their synagogues. And you will be dragged before governors and kings because of me, as a testimony to them and the Gentiles." Now, after giving these warnings, Jesus shared a puzzling statement that challenges us to think carefully about our faith and how we live it out. He said, "Behold, I am sending you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. So be cunning as serpents and innocent as doves." In this verse, Jesus talks about being cunning as serpents and innocent as doves. These are two different qualities that he wants us to have. But how can we be both cunning like snakes and innocent like doves? Let's look at each one separately. Let's start with the word sheep. Jesus says that his disciples will be like sheep sent among wolves. Wolves are wild animals known for their fierceness and strength. They hunt and can be very dangerous. Sometimes when a wolf enters a flock of sheep, there's no match for its strength. No matter how many sheep try to stop it, they can't fight back. They can be torn apart easily. Why did Jesus compare his followers to sheep? Sheep are innocent and harmless creatures. They just want to eat grass and hang out with their friends. They don't do any harm to anyone. But they can be pretty dumb sometimes. They don't know when someone is trying to hurt them. That's why the shepherd has to protect the sheep, right? Well, Jesus told his followers that they would be like sheep because they would go out to tell others about him. Just like the sheep that didn't know what would happen when the wolf comes, Jesus' followers wouldn't always know how people would react to their message. Some people would listen and believe, but others might get angry and even hurt them because they didn't like what they were hearing. Have you ever faced this situation when you tried to tell someone about Jesus and they got mad at you? Or maybe you saw someone being mean to a fellow classmate just because they believed in Jesus. If you haven't, well, that's awesome. But if you have, then you understand how scary it can be. Now, let's talk about the word wolves. When Jesus spoke of wolves, he wasn't referring to the actual animals. Instead, he was talking about evil people who pretended to be good. There are people who act nice, but inside they're not so great. They like to trick people and cause problems. Sometimes these people even pretend to be religious, but really they don't believe in God or Jesus. They try to make other people feel bad by saying bad things about them or making fun of them. They act all nice and friendly, but secretly they're planning ways to hurt people, especially those who believe in Jesus. In the same way, sometimes older students may seem friendly to younger students, but they might trick them or take their stuff. These older students are like wolves dressed as sheep. They look nice on the outside, but inside, they want to hurt others. Even today, there are people who say bad things about Christians just because they follow Jesus. Some people don't like that Christians believe in God's love and want to help others. They think it's stupid and try to make fun of Christians. Sometimes they try to trick Christians into doing bad things or get them into trouble. So what should we do when we meet these wolves? How can we be safe? Well, that's where the second part of Jesus' advice comes in. He told his disciples to be cunning like serpents. A serpent can sense danger through vibrations and sounds even before it can see anything. They can hide quickly, either by squeezing into small spaces or climbing up high places where birds can't reach them. Being cunning like a serpent means being smart and careful. It doesn't mean being sneaky or telling lies. It simply means being wise and cautious. Jesus wants us to be aware of the bad things happening around us, just like the serpent feels the danger coming before it sees it. We can be aware of what's happening around us without being sad or scared. It means paying attention to the actions of people who don't believe in God and Jesus, understanding why they act the way they do. And knowing that even though we're going out to tell others about God's love, some people won't be happy about it and it might hurt us. We can't always stop bad things from happening, but we can try to avoid them by being smart. Just like the bird that climbs up high to stay safe from the serpent, we can use our brains to find ways to stay safe too. For instance, if someone makes fun of us for sharing our faith, we can choose to walk away instead of arguing with them. If someone tries to trick us into doing something bad, we can politely refuse and explain why we can't do that thing. Remember, being cunning like a serpent isn't about being mean or sneaky. It's about being smart and kind. Now, let's talk about being innocent like doves. Doves are sweet little birds that mostly eat seeds and plants. They're peaceful and don't like to fight. In fact, they're known as a symbol of peace all over the world. That's why when we want to show that we want peace, we often use images of doves. Jesus told his disciples to be innocent like doves, because he wanted them to be pure in heart and mind. Being pure means not holding on to anger, jealousy, or other negative feelings. It means treating everyone with kindness and love, even those who don't believe in God or Jesus. Doves are also simple creatures. They don't do complicated things. They just go about their day looking for food and being nice to other birds. Being like a dove means being humble and not thinking that we're better than others. It means being honest and not hurting others with our words or actions. When we're innocent like doves, we try our best to be kind and loving to everyone, even when they're not nice to us. In conclusion, Jesus wants us to be both cunning like serpents and innocent like doves. This might seem a bit difficult, but it's actually quite simple. To be cunning like a serpent means being smart and careful and not letting bad things that happen around us affect our faith or make us sad. Being innocent like a dove means being pure in heart, not holding on to negative feelings and always trying to be kind and loving to everyone. Being both cunning and innocent helps us live out our faith in the world. It reminds us to be strong in spirit and not be afraid to share our faith. It also reminds us to be kind and loving to everyone, just like Jesus was. That brings us to the end of today's lesson. Remember, being cunning like a serpent and innocent like a dove helps us live out our faith in the world. It means being strong in spirit, smart, careful, pure in heart, and always kind and loving. Now it's your turn. Answer this question in the comment section below. Can you think of a time when you had to be brave while sharing your faith with others? If you've experienced this, please share your story with us. We would love to hear about your journey. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this episode and learned something new. Make sure to share this episode with your friends and family. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed. Till next time.